because of how they play, their level. So we have a ton of respect for Marshall, and we had to be on we had to produce our A game today. But I think we learned from that last time, and clearly, we were able to play at a different level tonight.
You get the first goal going this way to the win, then you get 2 run-out goals. How big was that? Because your 3 goals came from a distance. It wasn't like in the box stuff. It's 3 booms.
Yeah, no. What I'll tell you is, Marshall does a really good job pressing and repressing. So they try to bring, especially when they push you into a low block, then you're trying to get out. There's a lot of space behind Marshall, if you do, but it's really hard to get out because of the way that they're able to repress you and the numbers they get around you. So credit to these guys to be able to solve that, because there's guys on their back, and there are multiple guys trying to close you and pin you back. And so, we have incredible players like Clarence, like Lillian, like Claudel, Eunice. I mean, that whole group was able to find some space, because Marshall doesn't give you a whole lot. And once we did, we were able to get up the field, and incredible finish from Freddie to kick us off. But I'm proud. A lot of teams have a difficult time being able to get a hold of the ball and get a hold of the game, but we did at the right times, and then we were lethal in those moments. We took our chances really well.
The first match here, there were some similar chances, and just a miss here, just a step there, could have been a very different result here. I think it's November 4th. Yeah. Did that serve as motivation coming in because you knew you all were right there, guys?
Well, for me, it was the first time that we played against Marshall, and we never scored against them since I'm here, since 2022. And if there was a chance for us to beat them, it was today. And I think that the mentality for the team was like that since the beginning of the game. As Scott said, like we started Marshall like the most like little details possible, because Marshall, like nobody could beat Marshall here at home. And so we started Marshall the best way possible, and I think that we did an amazing performance, especially defending, because we knew that there were gonna be some times that we were gonna suffer, but we suffered as a team together, and then when we had our chances, we took advantage of them, and we scored. So I think that the entire group has been amazing. Like I remember when we had a conversation in the locker room, every single player of the roster, and we were like, guys, we need to figure out what to change. And since that moment, we didn't lose. Well, we just lost one time against Marshall. And the reaction from the group has been amazing, and I'm so grateful, because it's my last season here. Same for Clarence, and there wasn't a best way. Well, the season is not done, but like, it wasn't the best way. It was the best way to end our regular season, to say it like that.
That kind of segues into my next question, though. You all mentally have been playing for your season for several weeks now. Does that help you in like this, because it's felt like every single game was winner go home? Does that help you? Well,
yeah, I think about a lot about togetherness. At that time, we knew that we had to win against George Southern and against Kentucky to have a chance to do the NCAA tournament, which was a goal at the beginning of the season, and obviously win the Sun Belt tournament. So after the season, the regular season, we're a little bit disappointed to end up like 5th, obviously, but we arrived with the right mentality, and I think the game against George Southern was a big turnover, like that changed everything. And I felt like the mentality after that game, like, were completely different. We had like confidence, we were all together, and I feel like that's what the difference today and during all those 3 games.
And I think I'll say this: there have been multiple games down the stretch where our back's against the wall, right? We're 2-0 down, and against Georgia Southern, and the response from the team, the level went up. from these players. The level went up from Clarence, and all of a sudden you see we have this other gear, if you want to call it, or level, and they are determined to keep going, and that was so critical. Because 2-0 down on the road, snowing. These guys don't like snow. Some of them have never seen snow. So to be able to, they were so cold. I was cold, but to be able to respond to that moment and produce 3 goals the way that they did to keep the season alive, it's incredible.
On the flip side of that, coach, now looking ahead, how has play in the Sun Belt Conference prepared you all for the NCAA tournament run to come?
I think that and then also we played Wake and UNC and UNCG and this group of teams. And I think actually playing that group, we didn't get the results we wanted, but man, you learn a lot from those teams, right? And so we learned a lot in that part of the season. We suffered a lot and went through a lot of adversity, and then you see what people are made of. And that prepares us for the Sun Belt. And now we've had to go through such high-level teams. So I think we've seen a lot. Different teams play different ways. Some press you, some sit back, some press you with one. Some, Marshall does like 3-4 different things in any given game. And so there's nothing that these guys, I don't think, have failed to see this season. So I think we're going into the rest of the season in a great spot.
Anyone on Zoom have any questions?
Yes, Eric Lopez, coach, just describe this last 7 days from being 2-0 down with 27 minutes left in your season to winning on the road at the regular season champs to beating Marshall. How would you describe these last 7 days?
It feels like 3 weeks. I'm being honest. I have 1 pair of socks left. It's incredible. It's great for us to all be together. I think that this group loves being together. There's such a good vibe. So I think we love that part of it. And we like competing together. So I've loved it. I'm sure I'll let these guys speak about it too.
No, yeah, obviously we loved it. Like you said, it feels like it's been a moment we left home because it's been a really long time that I haven't been to school or even in my room. But obviously I'm really happy about how it ends. And yeah, I just want to do it again for the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, for me, it has been so special because since I came here, I had the mentality that I wanted to to make history here in UCF, and I think that I accomplished too, being the number 1 in the country and in whole athletics and winning a championship here in the Sun Belt. That is not easy. So I think that I'm gonna get out of here of UCF really, really proud of what I did and what everyone did because it wasn't easy, and I think that all the UCF fans are gonna be so proud of what we just did, and I hope that if we have the chance to host in the NCAA, we're gonna need all the UCF fans to support us because we really feel the atmosphere when they are there. So.
Coach, this is Bryson Turner. I remember when we were talking back after the UNCG game, you talked about how there was a big learning curve and that there were opportunities in this Sun Belt Conference for you to put together a really good run. You just did it. Just when you look back at that time, how big did that learning curve end up needing to be in order to get to the position you're in right now?
Yeah, I think what we failed to think about, maybe even when I made the schedule and I made it as hard as I did, is that we had 17 new players and had lost a lot of excellent players within our team who knew the system, who understood, how we wanted to play, who understood each other, and that took time. And I don't think there's any way to accelerate that process. Because you need to play games together, you need to train together, you need time together, you need to build that chemistry on and off the field. And that, these guys wanted to learn and they wanted to do well and they wanted to get better. And I've got two guys, one to the right and to the left of me, that came into this last year of theirs, and they wanted to do something special, and not just for themselves, they wanted to do it for UCF. So I couldn't be prouder of the growth of these guys and the leadership role that these two guys have taken to because it's tough. Like when you're sitting at 2-5-1, the group's not sure what to do, and they look to the leaders in the team to figure out what are we going to do. And these guys kept us on track. So I couldn't be prouder of these two. And the growth that both of them have had since they've been here, the role they take up now. We grew a lot in a lot of different ways, not just in football, but as competitors. So I'm really proud of these two guys in this group.
Quick-
Juanvi, you had your season high with saves today. And your previous season high was against Marshall before. What is it about this Marshall attack that really really makes you work out there in goal?
Well, I think Marshall has a lot of good players. David de la Víbora, I played against him when I was 16, when I was in Getafe, and he was in Real Madrid. So like I knew him, and well, like every single player that Marshall has is incredible. That's why they are always in the top 25. Their RPI is always good. That's why it's really difficult to beat them here at home. Like so I had to be prepared for anything, especially from the last game that we had, that they scored two bangers. I was like, if they shoot that, I have to save everything they shoot today, even if it's got to a corner. So I just try to be focused. I think that everyone did an amazing job defending, not just me, but I think that if we keep doing this, like we're gonna win a lot of games in the NCAA. So.
Speak of Lillian, 2 goals, was fantastic on the counterattack, and the pass by Claudel to set him up was a thing of beauty there, and you really exposed Marshall there when they were trying to put pressure on you there.
Yeah, I mean, I think the group of players that we have, they can handle that level of pressing, right? They're technical. Both Claudel and Lillian are physical. Clarence is really clever and can turn in spaces that normal players can only play back in. So we have players that can play in these really tight spaces, and we found an exit, right? We were able to escape that press, and then there's big spaces once you escape the press. And we have players with pace as well. So you see when these guys get into open space and we start to run, we have players that can find them with really precise passes, right? And then we have players in Lillian who's, for as fast as he is and as big as he is a very calm finisher. When he gets around goal, he's very composed and he picks his spot. So what's happened over the season, if you look, it's just like the chemistry and understanding between all these players has grown. And so now that just they know where to pass the ball, where the other one's going to run. Like they don't even have to, say it. They know what's going to happen. And that chemistry is why we were able to break Marshall the way that we did. And it's very difficult. Obviously, there's not a lot of teams that can come here and do what we did.
We'll do one more for anyone on Zoom.
Speaking on that, coming from where you guys did, like you mentioned earlier, 2-5-1 at some point in the season, all the way to going 3 separate times into road environments and being able to win the Sun Belt Championship. What does it mean for you guys as a team, and just from where you guys came from to where you guys are right now? What does it mean to win the first ever Sun Belt Championship in UCF history?
I mean, it feels amazing, like because I remember like when we lost against Kentucky 3-2. Like I saw some faces of our teammates and we were like, we don't know what else we can do to fix it. But like the reaction from the group has been like incredible, especially for the senior group, because we knew that it was gonna be our last season. And like, for example, Clarence and I were like, there is no way there is no way that our last season is gonna end like this. And we knew that the team had the ability and the capacity to be better, and I think that we proved it. So I think that everyone is so proud, and I think that for next season, UCF, like the players that they have right now, is gonna look amazing, and I'm pretty sure that the scouting that they're doing right now is gonna be amazing for next season. So I'm just like really proud of what UCF is doing and for the next seasons as well.
Yeah, like Paul said, our assistant coach was not here, unfortunately today. At the beginning of the season, he told me last one, best one, so I guess he was right. And no, I'm really grateful to be part of this team. And I think the month of October was a really big like turn in our season, and we put the work in. We didn't lose in October, and since the only game that we lost recently was here at Marshall, we learned a lot from that. And yeah, I'm really grateful, really happy, and really proud of this team, of the coaching staff, everybody. So I'm just happy right now.
Awesome. Thank you all very much. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you
Thank you
guys.
guys. See you
Thank
later.
you.